Welcome to the Fanbros, the show where the bros are fans. Doodle. And welcome, internets, to another episode of Fanbros, the show where the pros are fans, or something to that extent. It's your boy, DJ BenHaMeen, a.k.a. the anti-trife equation, a.k.a. Susie Soul Snatcher, a.k.a. Hash Ketchum, in the spaceship, here on FanBrosShow, the voice of the urban geek, and as always, I'm joined by...
I really need some more AKAs. Y'all gotta help me out. This is Tatiana King Jones, the Grand Duchess of Tech, also known as the Ahura of the Spaceship, the Black Russian, the Black Rogue, Flex Luthor, as always, and Sean Jean-Luc Picard.
Nice. Yeah, I like my new one, Susie Soul Snatcher.
Where'd you get that one from?
I don't know. It just came to me today. I was just like, I was going to go with Sammy or something, but I like the feminine of it, Susie Soul Snatcher.
Is that has anything to do with Susie Carmichael, or it's just...
I don't even know who Susie Carmichael is.
Yes, you do, from Rugrats.
Oh, nice. No, I wasn't making that connection. I was just going with Soul Snatching, and Susie sounded better in front of it than anything I could think of. So Susie Soul Snatcher here on the spaceship. Say that 5 times fast. It's FanBrosShow, the voice of the urban geek, the multicultural maestros for all nerds.
Yes.
That's right, folks. We're for all nerds, for everyone. The inclusive... I need like inclusive invective, inclusive injunction.
I don't know if you want to say
the inclusive incursion. There we go. The inclusive incursion. FanBrosShow. We here. That's right. Yeah, it's another great week. I mean, happy homecoming to everyone. Howard University, HU.
Yes.
Tatiana was down there. How was that?
HU, it was lit. It was great. I got a chance to see some great friends from my class. Not going to tell y'all what class, but from my class.
Right.
And it was really good. Like, Howard Homecoming is legendary. Of course, like we always say, the saying goes, we may not win the game, but we always win the party. So
word up, word.
Definitely always worth to come through. Like, really, your celebrity's favorite celebrity always comes through Howard Homecoming, and it's always a great time.
Yeah, most definitely. Big shout outs to everybody down there in DC. My boy DJ Analyze, DJ Money, Young Guru. I mean, Young Guru don't live there, but I know he was down there.
Right.
RNF, FNC, all my crew from my year. Not going to tell y'all either, but, Simone Missick was down there, I think. I mean,
yep.
It's HU.
She was.
Yeah, we was representing, Lance Gross, it goes on and on and on and on and on. But yeah, hope everybody out there is having a great week. I'm feeling good here in the spaceship, man. I've been snatching, souls from trolls. I was trying to go with Timmy Troll Killer or something or Tina Troll Killer too, but I figured out, I got to work on that one. But Timmy Troll Turner.
Timmy Turner.
Yeah, I needed a burner on some of these trolls though. Oh, Lord, man. It's been so much good things happening, though. So, before we get into all the, craziness this week, let's just talk about something amazing and that I'm quite happy about. Donald D. Glover himself.
Yes.
Childish
Gambino.
Yes, Childish Gambino. Ernest, the man from Atlanta, will be Lando Calrissian in the new young Han Solo film, which is directed by somebody I can't remember, but will be shot cinematography by HU's very own Bradford Young.
So the directors are Chris Miller and Phil Lord.
Okay, we go.
Yeah, which funny enough, they did 21 Jump Street and the Lego Movie.
Wow.
Lego Movie was fantastic.
Fantastic. 21 Jump Street is pretty damn good in itself.
It's pretty funny. I will say 21 Jump Street was pretty funny.
That's my joint. Both of them joints are pretty damn good.
But he will be playing young Lando in the standalone Han Solo film. When is that film coming out? Oh, it's coming out spring 2018. And I think it's a great choice. Like when the Star Wars account just casually tweeted it like that, like they didn't just drop like a flex bomb. Like I was like, yo, that's huge, especially with all the momentum that Donald Glover has now and all of the fanfare with Atlanta. Like this is amazing, and I think it works well. I think he's a good fit in terms of the way he looks, in terms of his acting chops. I think it's gonna be good.
Oh, I mean, I'm overjoyed. Like, at first, when this rumor started going around, I was like, hell to the no. Because I really didn't know Donald like that. I'm not a big Community fan. I know Childish Gambino somewhat. I like the music, but I'm not like the hugest fan. And then Atlanta came out, and I was just like, oh my God, this dude's a genius. Like, what have I been sleeping on? Like, this guy's incredible.
Yeah, like, I won't lie, I've always thought he was talented, but then for a little while he had lost me because like he had some weird jokes about black women and Asian women. I didn't think I wasn't sure whether he was just being facetious or was he like that's what his style, but I really don't like jokes like that, so I was cool on him for a little bit. But then I gave him another chance, I guess, and like you said, he's just fantastic in Atlanta. But yeah, he's gonna be young Lando, and he's actually going to be joined by Alden Ehrenreich, who's going to be young Han Solo.
Yeah, and he looks like a young Han Solo, and the mock-up that people did on the internet from even a while back where they had Donald with Lando's hair really sells you. You can check my Twitter account.
Oh, I saw that on your Twitter.
Yeah, it really does sell you. And I mean, Lando is like, there's a couple things I got to talk about real quick with Lando, though, because one, Lando gets a lot of love like that Finn doesn't get. That really annoys me because a lot of people,
What you mean?
A lot of people love Lando and hate on Finn because they say to Finn, he doesn't get the girl. He coons, he jumps around, he doesn't know anything. He's a janitor. He sweats.
He doesn't know anything because he doesn't know anything. Like all he knew was, quote unquote, like you said, janitor and stormtrooper.
I know,
he was taken as a child.
But see, people are mad about that because they're like the one black character, and they always refer to Lando. But see, the thing about Lando is Lando had 2 movies and 20 plus years of side stories and of 20 plus years of memories to make you think he's like amazing. But in Lando's first movie, the first time he meets a white woman, he fiends after her. First of all, Rey and Leia are both beautiful women, so that's, to me, that's irrelevant, their race. But, just put it out there. He fiends after her immediately, tries to steal her from Han. He betrays them immediately after that and only redeems himself out of self-interest because Vader keeps making the deal worse. That's the only reason Lando's viewed, and that's all he does in the first time he appears. Next movie, of course, he does all that other stuff, blows up Death Star, etc. But first time out, Lando doesn't do anything that gives him all the love that Finn doesn't get.
Right. Like he doesn't necessarily have the most redeeming qualities.
No.
But the reason, but you know why? I mean, it's Billy D, Colt 45. Like, it's more of the pop culture aspect.
Don't let the smooth taste fool you.
Yeah, it's more of the pop culture and quote unquote legendary aspect of him that makes people transfer that same goodwill onto Lando. Because, yeah, like you said, when you put it like that, Ben, then yeah, damn, Lando's a scumbag. But. But like I don't know, people are really seeing just Lando, or do they see Billy Lando?
It's all that. That's what I mean. It's Mahogany, it's Colt 45, it's everything. It's Billy D. Williams, and Finn hasn't had that time. I mean, not Finn. John Boyega hasn't had that time to establish himself. He's only had Attack on the Block. Most people didn't see that. So he hasn't had that, and he's never played that smooth, charismatic player that he's going to get because the dude's about to be the new Denzel. So 20
totally,
years. Yeah.
Totally.
So 20 years from now, you're going to have all that stuff. So Finn's, it's going to be looked at differently. Plus, you're going to have memories from childhood. And most of the people who are making these complaints are older and just mad about whatever, whoop, whoop, whoop. I mean, we all get it. The Force Awakens is a blatant ripoff of the first 3 Star Wars movies. But
of course,
hey, it was enjoyable, and I'm hyped for what comes next.
Yeah, and there'll be more black Star Wars characters.
Yes, yeah, and Finn will develop.
Yeah.
But big shouts to Donald Glover and Lando, because one other thing about Lando, I will always love him because when I was a child, I convinced my mom and dad to buy me the Lando figure when they weren't, I can't remember, it wasn't damn near Christmas or any of that stuff. And so there was no reason for me to buy this Lando figure, but we were in the store and I saw him and I was like, but Mom, he's black. And, she was sold, was sold.
So
and so I got the Lando figure. Just like, yeah, it was such a blatant, like, I was such a, like, I'll say scumbag myself for that one. Because it was like, it was all just me manipulating the situation. I knew that she would cave because he was black.
Well, you were a kid. Kids, that's what kids do.
Oh my God. That's what they do. For real.
That's what kids do.
Little monsters. Yeah. Go ahead.
Since we're heralding like really dope people, I definitely want to give a shout to Arielle Johnson.
Yes.
Who, the first Black woman comic book store owner on the East Coast. There was a big news that came out on ABC of all places. She is on the variant cover of Invincible Iron Man 1 with Riri Williams. If you don't know who Arielle Johnson, who she is, you need to get your life together because she's the owner of Amalgam Comics and Coffee House in Philly. I was actually there representing Fanbros last year or maybe earlier this year with the rest of the Blackfinity Gauntlet crew. So all the podcasts made by people of color were there, and it was an amazing time. And not only that, the bookstore, the comic book store itself is incredible. Like, it's really well laid out. Like, they of course they have coffee and all sorts of drinks and stuff, and it's just really inviting. And again, it's just dope because Arielle herself is an amazing individual. She has such great energy, great warmth. And the fact that she's going to be like on the cover of Invincible Iron Man, that's crazy. That's amazing.
No, it's just ridiculous. The cover is beautiful too. I'm not sure who the artist is, but the cover is absolutely beautiful. I mean, just so dope. And it's, taken from a photo of her in her own store. And then they just added Riri in. Just sick. So you can definitely order it. I think online you can hit her up, directly at Amalgam Comics and pre-order a copy so you can get one because this joint's going to vanish. And it's just that's like a great use of variant covers right there. Like, I know it's been done before for other comic shops to have them. Midtown usually has theirs like every month, damn near, I think. But yeah, man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, like you said, it may happen often, but not to this extent. And also tied in with Riri Williams, which is already like a huge deal right now. I think I just really happy that happened, that this variant happened. And like you said, I'm gonna buy it the moment it's available.
And we're gonna take a quick break right here, but when we come back, we got to talk about some more variants. Not at the positive side. About that.
Hey, this is the Shameless Maya. When I'm not busy running things, I'm listening to Fanbros.
And welcome back, internets. Hope everyone is enjoying this show. I know you're enjoying the show. It's awesome. It's FanBrosShow for all nerds. And yeah, Fanbros, like I said, big shouts to Amalgam Comics. Everyone over there doing awesome things with variants. Marvel in general with their variants has been, pretty on point. The hip hop comic covers, they've, certain people hate it, but overall, I can't lie, over the time that they keep releasing them, they've all been dope. I copped the Mosaic joint today. I'm not even sure what cover that is, but, I copped it. It was a dope cover in general, so I had to get it. But, with all good things, there's always some slip-ups, and, some people this week slipped up and fell in that boat, got on that ferry. Took that, short trip off a lawn pier over to Trifling Heights. That's right, folks. The boat hasn't been as full as it's been lately, but tonight it's actually pretty full because there's a whole heck of a lot of people. They're kind of nameless. I guess it's just the nameless side, the trolls of the internet. I got on the boat today. And like we said, it's all in reference to a certain, variant cover. And really what it is, as we discussed last week, there was a variant cover of Riri Williams of Invincible Iron Man featuring Riri Williams, drawn by J. Scott Campbell. That was actually a Midtown Comics variant. We were talking about Midtown earlier. And
right.
It, people weren't really happy with it. And the end result of people not being happy with it were the cover got pulled. Midtown won't be releasing it anymore. And I'm kind of a mixed feeling about that, because my thing is, I don't think art should be censored. Even though there's been times before when I thought covers have gone way too far and I was like, it's best if those aren't released. This one I was on the fence about. I feel like it's better if people just don't buy that shit. And then, then it's like when you don't buy it, then they understand. But just, because they're going to continue to put women in provocative poses because people buy it.
Yeah.
And that,
I want to.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And that's an issue.
I understand from your viewpoint you saying that word censorship, but the problem is a lot of these creators, white men or other people in areas of privilege, use that word in order to deflect and use that as a defense against things that they're doing that is just completely wrong. Like to sit there and again, not from the way you use it, but the way they use it when they say, oh, like if people have anything to say, any criticism, and then they say, oh, it's censorship, it's like,
no. See, that's
criticism.
False. That's criticism. Yeah, and no, that's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that I'm fully behind the criticism. The cover was whack. It was tired. It was just as trifling as, pretty much I'd say good 80% of the times women are portrayed in comics. And so I don't, there's nothing defensible about it from that point. But I just don't feel that things should be censored. Just like the same reason I thought The Killing Joke was fine being released, and I was happy it was released. And then I was even happier than it got the reception it got because the shit was whack.
So you rather it be out there and then people either ignore it or don't put their money into it?
Yes, because that's how things don't get made, is when you stop putting your money into them. Like Gods of Egypt, was a fucking flat out failure at the box office, and there's not going to be a Gods of Egypt part 2. Right.
But see, the problem, the catch-22 on that is Gods of Egypt has to get made. These whack variant covers have to get made. And that's the problem. That's what bothers me, is the fact that a lot of what people are trying to do is attack the situation at the root rather than say nothing and keep allowing. Let me not say the word say nothing, but I understand what you're saying when it's just like, oh, well, don't support it. But my thing is, there has to be a point where you go at the root of the problem. Like, we can't just keep letting them do these whack ass things and then saying, okay, don't support it. Oh, we're going to boycott it or this and that. Like, why keep letting them do this? Or why not to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to say the word let, because it's not like we up in Marvel offices telling Axel or somebody, oh, you can or cannot do. But my point is, the problem and why people keep fighting and this keeps coming in a situation is you're tired of seeing this shit. I know myself. I don't want to have Gods of Egypt made, then for me to go turn around and say, oh, I'm not supporting it. Because my thing is, this has been this way forever. Like, there's mad shit that's been going on in Hollywood and the industry that keeps coming up over and over again. And despite all types of people saying we don't want that, or all types of people not putting their money in it, despite that, they still keep doing it. They still keep giving the same people chances. They still keep giving the same small set of people the opportunities. So it's just like, at what point can you not go at it at the root cause? Like, I get what you're saying, but also I'm just like, you can't just like, I also don't like the idea of just saying, oh, well, then don't put your money into it, because it's more than that.
It is more than that. And I agree with you there. But see, there comes the other side of it. And that's part of what we're talking about on the boat this week, is the fact that Chelsea Cain, the author of Mockingbird, which I've actually recommended before on Comics I Copped. I've read one issue of it so far. I was waiting on the trade. And I'm sad I did that because, like Joe Illidge said, single issues support trades. And Mockingbird has already, to what I understand, been canceled. But
Damn.
but that's not even the story. And see but that does go into what you were saying, because that's the problem. When people don't support things like this, they get canceled. And Mockingbird has been a utterly outright feminist book from the very first issue. It's been a brilliant book in general. The one issue I read, I was like, oh, wow. And I'm a huge, not huge, but Mockingbird is one of those characters I definitely grew up on. The West Coast Avengers was my joint back in the day. So, to see her used well in this series, I was like, wow, this is dope. Like, I can't wait to read the trade. And now it's been canceled. But anyway, issue number 8 features Mockingbird on the cover, and she's wearing a shirt that says, "Ask me about my feminist agenda." Now, from what I
think it's clever as hell.
Oh, it's a dope-ass cover. I copped it today. It's in stores now. Go get you one. From what I can see, it seems that it was more of a reaction to the Riri cover. Like, because people were mad about, because they were mad about it getting pulled, they were like, okay, how can we attach something? And then they see this cover, which says, "Ask me about my feminist agenda." And that goes directly into the heart of these, trolls who think that feminism and diversity and inclusion are changing the comics that they grew up loving. So,
but it is, but not in a. See, the problem is, it is changing, but that's the nature of art. Art is transformative. Art evolves. When a lot of the problem is people are being very tiny-minded and a lot of times deliberately ignorant, because they see things and they say just from the most basic level, "Oh, you're changing something that I love." No, that's not what's happening. We're not changing what you intrinsically love about comic books. We're not changing how you have personal emotions or issues or whatever about whatever you're reading. What's being changed or what's being enhanced is the industry itself. The industry itself, the opportunities, the types of books that are coming out, the types of stories that are being told, the types of characters that are being drawn. That's what's changing in comic books. The idea and the art form of comics is not changing itself. Like, comic books are at least for now, comic books are not just going to disappear because someone decided to draw Black Canary or whatever, or Mockingbird with a feminist t-shirt on. Like, that doesn't change the fact that there's still going to be 50-11 comic book covers with half-ass naked women on it. Like, that's what bothers. And this is literally the same argument that Gamergaters came up with when it comes to video games, and the same reason why people like Arnita Sarkeesian and all them others stay getting trolled forever in Death Dress, because it's the same thing. It's like this false argument about, "Oh, you're changing something I love." No, that's not what's happening. We're opening the door for more options. We're opening the door to allow more people who also love this genre or this space to be able to be appreciated and appreciate what's available to them. If, as a Black woman, all I see is, once again, half-ass naked women on the cover, and I'm not represented at all, for a space that I love, I feel some type of way. And because I feel some type of way, I'm going to, and not everybody, but I'm going to do something to try to bring positive change to that. And if that means I get an opportunity to draw a character with a feminist message or whatever, what have you, that doesn't mean your shit goes away. It just means I'm adding to the genre. It just means I'm putting a window there so I can see myself in it. That's all that means. And for those people, those Gamergate people, those comic book troll peoples to use that same tired ass argument, it's just like, y'all sound so fucking stupid. I don't understand.
Wow. Tell them how you really feel. No, I mean, I agree. I agree 100%. And like, it's hilarious. The funniest thing is, for one, Mockingbird is damn near half naked, even on this cover. Like, it's a dope ass cover. She's not provocative, she just dressed sexy. She got a midriff on and some shorts because she's on a cruise, so it's like, it's appropriate. But and that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these arguments and all the stuff these idiots say has nothing to do with, "Oh, you're changing my genre. You're trying to change something I love." No, it's because you are fragile.
Whether it's your masculinity is fragile, you yourself are fragile. It's something about seeing the word feminist that just drives you nuts. I don't know what it is. And all these, the meninists come out and then just really start taking things to over the top. Like really, like these folks would have you believe that there is an agenda to kill all men on this earth. Like really.
No, I mean,
it's mind-boggling.
It's ridiculous. Like I've seen people just, who I consider logical, and like I wouldn't say friends, but associates of mine, just throw death threats themselves at Anita Sarkeesian, like just be like, I wish she would be dead. She's an idiot. And
in what world is a comic book or a video game worth emailing, texting, calling up somebody and saying, I want you to die? Really?
I mean, it's a joke. And like even myself, just, today, in the last few weeks even, some of my favorite reactions from people are that one dude told me, well, he grew up in a town that's 90% white, so he wants all his comics to be like that. I was like,
Negro.
okay.
See, I call him a Negro. See, I almost call him something else. Ninja, then go buy comics with just white people.
I mean, that's what I told
because they're
him.
there.
Yeah, and that's very rare. I was like, what comics did you ever read anyway? But anyway, hold on, let me finish. There's other ones that I love. Another guy told me that, they always are mad about change. He told me that I'm forcing old white men out of work, that I hate old white men. Meanwhile, I spent half of my Comic-Con chilling with Arthur Adams, an old white man, and telling him how he's the greatest, of all time.
There's something called, you can have both.
Yeah.
Like,
and then someone said, that they're happy that Mockingbird got canceled because she was forcing her feminist ideology on people. And that's the other side of the story that we haven't even got into yet. Miss Cain left Twitter over this.
That's
so fucked up. This is a woman who sold millions of books. She was a best-selling author before she came to comics. This is the first comic she's ever written. It sold about 20, 30, 40,000 at most per issue. And, she sold millions of copies of her books, and she said she's never dealt with the type of rage and anger that she got from comics people that, after selling millions of books compared to selling 20 to 40,000 copies of 8 issues so far of a comic. It's really ridiculous. And so, all your asses need to take your ass to Trifling Heights. I think we've given you enough time. Go out, buy the trade of Mockingbird if you can. Check it out. I've read one issue. I just dropped that latest issue. I'm going to read it and, talk about it some more next week when I get my hands on the trade so I can read the first 6. But that's enough for them. I mean, we got some other, problems with feminism and fools who take that word for granted, And, man, I've always had a problem with this shorty, and I think she's been to Trifling Heights before. She definitely made This Week in the N-word when that was still popping. But Amy Schumer decided to, establish her residency. As far as I'm concerned, she definitely is a resident of Trifling Heights at this point. It ain't no short trip for her.
She got a family compound here.
Word up.
Her whole posse stays here.
Yeah, all her friends can stay there with her. Taylor Swift.
Vacation summer house, all that.
All of them.
Timeshare,
but,
all that.
But yeah,
log cabin by the lake, all that.
Miss Amy Schumer decided to release a video this week with Goldie Hawn of all goddamn people.
How did Goldie Hawn get dragged into
because they're doing a movie together. Paying, as Schumer says, paying tribute to Beyonce's. Yeah.
Okay, so I went into the details of this, and this, I'm not even going to say that damn word, tribute. This thing that she did was it Beyonce knew about it. It was actually released on Tidal, so there's obviously had to have been Beyonce and or Jay-Z and or both aware of this, so it's not like they didn't know.
It's so crazy to me,
right? Which is just weird, but I'm gonna put it out there. I've never liked Amy Schumer. I've never liked her brand of humor. I've never liked her as a quote-unquote feminist. I don't like her brand of feminism. I don't like white feminism. You guys don't know what that means. Hit up that good old Google, because there's a difference between feminism and white feminism. There's a difference between all of that and intersectional feminism. So definitely
there's really a difference between feminism and womanism, which is a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, and I remember you and I had that conversation. But
yeah,
Amy, I don't fucks with Amy, okay? She's not in my space. That being said, I think this was so fucking stupid of her to do this and then think it was okay to call this a tribute, regardless of who was okay with it. She loves to put herself out there and put herself in positions where people are going to get mad. My thing is, at the end of the day, Formation ain't for you.
No.
Formation has never been for you. You, meaning Amy Schumer and the rest of the white feminists. Formation is not for you. It's a lot of things that are just not for you. There are pieces of art, music, stories, etc. that's specifically made for black people, and in this case, black women. There are stories and all the whole 9 yards that are made for Native people. There are stories and all that made for Asian people. Like,
I mean, the majority of stories are made for white people. It's not like Friends is made for me. You know, like I can relate to Friends. It's like somebody can relate to Formation, but it's not made for you.
No, it's not made for that. My point is exactly what you just said. There's certain things that are made for certain groups of people. Like, yeah, other people may be able to enjoy it. Like everyone who loves Beyonce loves Formation, regardless of what color they are. But it's not about that. It's about the deep understanding of what that song means and who it's for. So to take that and put your brand of white feminism all over it and then try to make jokes, particularly about the lyrics as well. Like, I didn't find that shit funny at all. I found it pretty trifling, to say the least. Like,
yeah.
Did you see it or hear any of it?
Oh, I saw the whole thing. I forced myself to watch the whole thing, and I was utterly distrusted. And then I was just as distrusted by a response. I was bewildered by Beyonce and Jay-Z for even allowing that, because especially Beyonce as of late has really, you know, got a good message going with her shit. And it's like, that was just like such disrespect, because even the Formation itself has its questionable lyrics, you know, with the Red Lobster and stuff when you're talking about police brutality. But it's, you know, it's still Formation, and that video is one of the most powerful things I've ever seen. So it's like,
I mean,
to have Amy Schumer's whack ass, you know, dancing and
Formation is a celebration of blackness.
Yes.
Once again, not saying that everybody can enjoy the song, the video, whatever, but at its root, it is a song about blackness. So to change these lyrics and these and this is not the.
Oh, she didn't even change the lyrics.
You know what I mean? This is not the change the understanding of the lyrics. Is what I'm saying. And this is not the same as if someone wants to be funny with me. This is not the same as changing your comic book. This is really just completely going from another place and taking away, to me, of what the message was about with Formation. Yeah. Like, and then making jokes about it. And this is not, I mean, she does this on a regular basis. Like, this is not new to her. And I don't like that. So I thought it was dumb. I'm not with it.
Nah, so Amy Schumer can definitely, you know, get her ass on that boat. You know, her brand of whack feminism can get on that boat. You know, all these trolls, you know, big shouts to Chelsea Cain, you know, FanBrosShow stands with you. You know, hopefully you do not leave comics. Because like I said, the one issue of Mockingbird I read was brilliant. I saw Ta-Nehisi Coates shouting her out on Twitter. You know, Joe Illidge. Mad people were definitely, and I have to even say that, even though I had a bunch of trolls in my mentions today, some of the usual suspects who I'm always dealing with, I have to say just the amount of retweets and the amount of people who were like, yo, F that, I'm going to buy an issue right now. I'm going to buy that T-shirt that Mockingbird is wearing, you know, et cetera, was so dope to see. Like, it was far more, like, you know, big shouts to Mellow Marketer. Like he said, it's always far more of us than it is of them. And that's something we always have to remember. And even I had to remember that, because even though I was sitting there laughing with the trolls, it was still annoying me because I was like, damn, these guys are whack. But then I look and I see how many people are just tweeting me like, yo, that's dope, that's dope, that's dope. Damn, I didn't know about this book. You know, oh, man, that's effed up. I can't believe she left. Or, you know, people were like, I'm reading it. I can't believe she's leaving. This is one of my favorite things. So that was amazing in itself. So big shouts to all y'all. The rest of y'all, hop y'all ass on that boat. You know, let's take a quick break right here, and we'll be right back with more FanBros.
My name is Jamie Broadnax from Black Girl Nerds, and when I'm not tweeting about nerd culture, I am listening to the FanBros Show.
And welcome back, FanBros. It's a little hot in the spaceship right now. I think Tatiana King is over here fuming, feeling it. A little angry, little rage induced right now. So let's cool it out, with one of our favorite segments on the show.
The guac is extra.
Yes, and on this section, I'm trying to speak really nice because that child in Trifling Heights really pisses me off.
I called somebody a child on Twitter today. They told me that I thought she was the best comic ever. I was like, right, out of my 25 plus years of reading comics, I just
I saw you.
Child, please. I feel so bad for women who love comics because I get tested on my knowledge, so I know y'all just get attacked. And it's so hilarious to me when people do that because, I know half the time it's somebody who's, younger than me, and I'm like, dog, I've probably been reading comics longer than you've been alive. And I'm certain that I've read more because I'm a damn fiend. And, it's just like, come on now.
Okay.
I feel like Obama. Come on.
All right. Let me get this first guac question rolling up. First, from Indie Idealists, they ask, if you could be an extra or have a small speaking part in an upcoming season of one of the Marvel Netflix shows, what show would it be and what would you want your role to be? From Indie Idealists, a.k.a. Dad Bod.
No, it's Bod.
Bod. Dad Bod.
Yeah, there we go. Get it right. Get
Sorry,
it right. Shaken, not stirred.
Indie Idealists, a.k.a. Bod. Dad Bod.
There we go. All right, and then a small part in a Marvel film.
A Marvel Netflix TV show. What show would it be and what would you want your role to be?
I'd want to be in the upcoming Daughters of the Dragon show featuring Misty Knight and Colleen Wing and hopefully Night Nurse. And I want to play the butler who works in the house, that they work out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just, show up and bring them tea and coffee.
You just know why I'm here.
Yeah.
You know why I'm here.
Hey, ladies. Hey.
Oh, gosh.
Hey.
You sound like Jazz off of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I would be Jazz. I would be Jazz playing the butler. That's exactly how I would play the role.
I don't know what specific character, but I really do like the idea of showing up in Daughters of the Dragon.
Yes.
That's hot. That's amazing. But try to choose something different. And what do I want my role to be? I don't know. I guess I would have to say that. Really, I would have to copy your idea because I just when they put them all together, that's gonna be amazing. That's gonna be amazing.
I would also like to be in Iron Fist, and I'd like to play a video store clerk that Danny walks into the store one day, and I just recommend him different movies like Last Samurai or or Dances with Wolves or Avatar or you ever see this old series Kung Fu? About this white dude who yeah.
Oh, you want to be one of those?
I would just that would just be my role, just to recommend him white savior films. Yeah.
I like to be a really sarcastic character or someone who's always basically reading people every time they're on screen. Every time you see me, I'm about to say some stuff. That's what I would love to be. That's my favorite.
I'm still gonna go with the original. I got to go with the butler.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with that. Good question, Bod.
Yeah, that was a really good question.
Yeah.
The next one is from Eon1Eno from Twitter. They ask, would Spider-Man stop a cop from unfairly arresting an innocent minority? Would the Punisher hunt down Dylan Roof?
Batman damn sure wouldn't, because Batman's part of the 1% and as a scumbag.
Yeah, he's not.
And
I think Punisher would.
Punisher's definitely shot up people resembling Dylan Roof in the comic, at least.
Right. I think if Punisher knew the whole tea about everything, he would do it.
Oh yeah, he would definitely get Dylan Roof. Dylan Roof would get got.
Yeah,
because Dylan Roof was just a murderer.
He would have got when he was in BK in Burger King.
Yeah,
he would have.
yes,
run up and done
along with the cops who were protecting him. And buying them Burger King. Yeah, so
that's the only thing. Punisher just does a clean slate type of thing. If you're just in the vicinity, he's just you might get got too. So that's a little messy. But yeah, Punisher would totally get Dylan Roof.
And he's also an equal opportunity killer. That's the thing. If you're a criminal, he's killing you. It's not about race or any of that. He just
if you're just a criminal, exactly.
Yeah.
And then what about would Spider-Man stop a cop from arresting someone or trying to arrest someone that's innocent. Well, it said innocent minority in a question.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think that goes without saying. Peter Parker is about, fighting for the underdog. And that's the thing about Peter Parker. And, this is not even in your question, but it definitely goes into it. Is like how, certain characters, they're not about race. And that goes back to what we were talking about before. And we talked about the Inclusion is Revolution panel, which you can check out on YouTube and SoundCloud. Shout outs to New York Comic Con. But yeah, it's like they're not about race. Like Spider-Man and like my favorite X-Men growing up wasn't Storm because she was black. I love Storm, but she wasn't my favorite. My favorite, wasn't, it was never because they were black. My favorite X-Man, I honestly growing up was Cyclops. Because I related to Cyclops the most because he was a dork, he was repressed.
His old simp ass.
Yeah, he was a simp. I was definitely a simp. And he was like, he couldn't, he had a lot of power in him that he couldn't show. I could relate to Cyclops. So it didn't matter to me he was a white dude. I didn't think of him as a white dude. He was Cyclops. That's the thing. He wasn't some white dude. He was a character. He was someone I loved. And so, back to that point, Peter Parker isn't like, I don't think of him as a white dude. I think of Peter Parker as that dude who fights for the underdog. Peter Parker could easily be Petey Pablo. He could be like whatever you want. It doesn't matter really. He's just race isn't part of his character. So yes, he would fight for the, underdog. Yeah.
Good answer.
But I don't think that applies to every comic character to also answer that.
Okay, like for example, I was gonna try to name a comic character that don't give two fucks about you. Like, would Wolverine help you?
I think most of the X-Men would because they're about, also the underdog stuff.
Yeah, but I feel like if Wolverine's in I feel like if Logan's in the mood, he ain't fucking with you.
Yeah. I feel you because I don't think Logan wants to get involved half the time because if he gets involved, he has to pop claws. It becomes a whole other issue.
See, that's my thing. There's a lot of superheroes in general that are like that, or people with powers that are like that, where it's not even about them seeing injustices. They just don't want to get involved.
Yeah.
Or they don't. Whether it's they don't want to be bothered with because they moody, or they just are trying to protect themselves. They just don't want to deal with it.
Or it's like with Superman, or because does he have way bigger issues? But see, that goes into a whole nother thing. It's like whenever, and that's like, there's mad comics about that, like Irredeemable. I mean, there's so many about, trying to play Superman in the real world where he realizes there's bigger problems than fighting Lex Luthor, and tries to fix these bigger problems. And those have been done to various degrees of success. You can check them out, but it's kind of tough to place, these things in real world situations.
The last question is from Agent Volkmer. They ask, I stumbled upon you guys' show by listening to Colorful Lives podcast. Hey, Colorful Lives. And decided two L's.
Don't forget
That's colorful with two L's. And decided to embrace my inner nerd, Blurred, and started listening to Fanbros, and they've loved it ever since their first listen. Since listening, they decided to read comic books for the first time. Yes! But they go to university, they go to Baylor, in a smaller town, and it's harder to find stores. So they looked into some online services and found Marvel Comixology. So the question is, do you know of, are you familiar with these? Yes, we are. And do you know of any other options?
I'm sure there's tons of other options, but I know that Marvel and Comixology are both really dope, offer really good deals, especially Comixology I know has dope deals all the time. And you can read them on there, and you can also, get your comics shipped to you if you want. If you're not into like really holding on to them, I'd say, go for the digital. But if you really love what you read digitally, I would also always recommend, this is what I normally do is I usually buy digital. I'll buy a few issues of the digital. If I love it, then I'll just go buy the trade. And you can definitely get your trades, or you can get to any like bookstore and they'll have trades. And that's a great way to have them and always be able to read them and, not really damage them. So I'd go with trades if I were you.
There's also like places like Image Comics, their digital store.
Yep.
And that BenHaMeen's all about the indie anyway.
All about the indie. Image, Valiant both have digital stores, and both if you haven't heard enough comics I copped, I always say anything from Image and Valiant is at least worth, buying a #1 issue and checking it out. And they usually both have deals on their #1s all the time.
Yeah, and there's also Made Fire and Comics Plus if you're just still looking for subscription services. But like BenHaMeen said, I would definitely say one of the best things you can do is like get yourself a Kindle and sign up for Amazon Prime and do that whole Comixology situation, or just get the stuff shipped directly to you. Lots of times you can put in pre-orders for a lot of books, a lot of new titles before they show up. So like the moment they drop, they ship it to you right away, and it usually comes pretty fast. So you'll have some options online.
Yep, and support your local comic shop, even if there's not one in your town. I know Baylor, that's in Texas, right? Baylor College, I think so, because I think Baylor College of Medicine was affiliated with my high school. But anyway, even it doesn't matter where you're at. You can always, there's always a local comic shop. There's a online, find your local comic shop. If you type that into Google, it'll come up. There's a locator, and then call them up, and even if they're like few hundred miles away, or less,
they'll ship to you.
They'll ship it to you, and that's a great way to support your local comic shop, even if you can't go there in person. And local comic shops are like the heart of this business, and they are a hard business to run. So, support them as much as you can. And I think that's it for the Guac segment. We got a new segment that we're going to need a name for real quick, because we have our Trifling Heights, where we send all the, people who are just messing up. But we got to big up the great people in the world, too. People are just doing that good work out there, much like FanBrosShow.
Yeah, we needed a section to counterbalance the dripping ignorance of the folks of Trifling Heights. And like BenHaMeen said, if you think you have a good name, a good section, maybe a good new town name, I don't know. Maybe I don't even want to call this place an island. It's a brand new oasis of happiness. Yes. Please.
It's like a mountain with a valley.
Yeah, like hit us up, let us know. Contact
like Hidden Valley Ranch.
Yeah, contact wait, you mean
that was my joint back in the day. Yeah, boy, Hidden Valley Ranch, yo. As a
you mean the salad dressing people?
Oh my God, that mayonnaise poison was delicious.
So in this new Hidden Valley Ranch section of the FanBros
what was
show,
the thing on Breaking Bad? French. Hidden Valley French. When they were like, we combined. It was like ketchup and mustard. It was like, we call it French. Yeah, it was some crazy shit. Hidden Valley French. Nasty. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But in this particular section, we're gonna talk. Just try to counterbalance and just talk about the people who are bringing happiness and joy into all of the lives for all nerds. And the one I would like to talk about first is the hero that vandalized Donald Trump's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You, ma'am or sir, or whatever, you win everything.
I just can't believe he had one, yo. Like, we deserve a
maybe
star.
It could have been a team of people. Like the point is, someone or a team of people went up to Donald Trump's Walk of Fame star with a sledgehammer and a pickaxe, and literally just completely defaced it. Oh, wait. And let me back that one up. The person was identified.
Oh.
It's a man he identified himself as James Otis, the heir to the Otis family elevator fortune.
Wow.
No, that can't be.
Wow.
I mean, this is on CNN. I mean, not that that's veracity information is right, but yo, the heir of the Otis elevator fortune, like pretty much damn near all the elevators are, not all, but a lot are made by Otis.
Wow.
Like elevators in damn near mad buildings. Like there's buildings in Howard that have Otis elevators. But anyway, he took credit for the act. He said he was doing it to help the 11 women who have accused Trump of sexually assaulting them. And the other victims who he said would come forward in the future. He said, and I quote, "I had 4 or 5 family members sexually assaulted, and I'm terribly upset that we have a presidential nominee who's become sort of a poster child of sexual violence."
Preach.
So, I mean, this guy went in. He managed to remove the gold emblem of the middle star.
Yeah, he destroyed that joint.
He destroyed it. Like, It literally looks like a pile of, can't even say rubble. It's like flat rubble.
Yeah.
On the Holly Walk of Fame.
He dig a hole, Jay-Z.
So you are a hero, James Otis. Really happy for you doing that. Also in this, as you say, the Hidden Valley Ranch section of Fanbros Show podcast is Richard Sherman. Because today at his press conference, he decided to dress up in full Harry Potter gear. He dressed up as, looks like, Harry Potter himself, complete with the round glasses and magic wand. When they asked him why, not only that, he played the Harry Potter theme song on his phone while he was at the podium.
Nice.
And when the press asked him why you're doing it, he said it's Halloween and his son told him that he wanted him to wear something, so he did it.
Nice. I ain't mad at it. I love Richard Sherman in general.
Yeah.
The Seahawks kind of went weak on their All Lives Matter ass protest, but Richard Sherman is definitely that dude. I will always love them for Marshawn Lynch. I was actually reading an article about him. He deserves to be in the Hidden Valley Ranch too, because my man he's just a great dude. We got to get him on the show for real, because he's just one of the people. Like, I would love to have Marshawn Lynch on the show. If anyone out there knows him, let me know.
Yeah, he'd be a really fun guest. And for the record, if you're asking which house he represented, Gryffindor, of course.
Of course. All right, so yeah, we'll come up with something. I really like the Hidden Valley part of it, but we got to,
All I can think of is the French dressing now.
French. Oh my God. Big shouts to Breaking Bad. And with that, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back to wrap up this episode of Fanbros.
Hi, my name is Roxanne Gay, and when I'm not watching Ina Garten's Barefoot Contessa, I'm listening to Fanbros.
And welcome back, internets. We just got back from the Hidden Valley Ranch, and we are now here.
Please, y'all come up with a better name.
I'll do something before next week, because that's not really popping. But we're here, and something that is popping is
Tech Talk with Tatiana.
And this week in Tech Talk with Tatiana, lots of stuff went down today and this week in general. The biggest news that I'm very happy about, and I will continue to stand, Microsoft Surface, okay? Microsoft Surface, number one, Microsoft Bike, okay? I am so proud of them for coming back with the innovation when it comes to hardware, coming back with the innovation when it comes to software. Like, Microsoft killed it today at their Microsoft event. They unveiled several new pieces of hardware, a lot of that I've read about in previous months, but to see it actually come through, just totally amazing. The first is the new Surface Studio all-in-one PC. It's really geared towards creators, so like artists and things like that. Think of an iMac, but like much bigger. The Surface Studio actually can pivot almost flat to the table, so like you can actually draw on it and use almost like an easel. It is a very powerful PC that, again, it's geared towards artists, so you could do things like create amazing landscapes, create amazing just art, whether you're a graphic designer, whether you're a web artist, whatever the case is, you can do it. It has an amazing range of color. As I mentioned, it has kind of like this these two hinges that let you, I know why I keep talking about the hinges, but it looks really nice when you see it in the video. It's really cool. It has kind of like an Echo-like device on it, or Echo-like Amazon Echo type of feature to it. So, but it's Cortana, so you can talk to it, have it help you find your lemon pepper wet wings, all that stuff. It supports the Surface Pen, so you can do your drawing, all that stuff. And then it also introduced a new piece of hardware called the Surface Dial. This is another piece that lets you use software tools like color sliders. It lets you pan and zoom in on photos as you're drawing. So think of it this way. Normally when you're drawing, whether it's with a stylus or on pen and paper, you have, or let's say on the computer with your stylus, you're drawing with your pen hand, and then you usually have to use your pen hand to go like change the color you're using or change maybe the stroke of the pen that you're using. With this new dial device, which literally looks like how do I explain? It looks like a dial. It looks like a giant
It just looks like a little metal circle. Like,
yeah, it's a metal circle. Like if you think of the dial that you use to change the station on your radio, that's what it looks like, but just larger, but just like handheld size. And you place this dial on the screen, and so with your other hand, with your free hand, and what you'll do with your free hand is you'll actually twist and turn the dial to bring up, again, different items such as the color palette, or maybe you want to use it to zoom your picture around. And then with your pen hand, you can continue drawing. So you literally can do several things at once without having to upset the balance of you creating your art. And it's amazing. It's very, very expensive. The Surface Studio, I believe, is $2,999 to start. So again, it's not really geared towards just the regular user. And then the dial is $299, if I'm not mistaken. And I hope I didn't mess it up, but I'm sure I'll fix it later if I did. Also, they announced the upgrades to the Surface Book. It has 16 hours battery life. There was a mention of the new Windows 10 update, which includes the new Paint 3D, which actually helps to make people make 3D object-oriented landscapes and pictures. There is a new 3D capture app for mobile. So, for instance, if you're standing around, you see a sandcastle, and you want to make a 3D image out of it, you can actually just scan it with your phone, and the 3D image will be available for you to use. For if you want to create VR, if you want to do anything, you can do it. And then also announced was the Arena Tournament feature. This is going to allow gamers to do things like make their own tournament games at any point. So you and me, BenHaMeen, if we decide we want to do tournament style Overwatch, just at any time, we can do that. Like we can do a FanBros Overwatch tournament if you wanted to.
Wow.
I think it's going to be lit. And also a little bit back, Microsoft purchased Beam, and with that technology, you'll be able to actually do just on the spot live streaming of your games. They really did such a great job today.
Yeah, I can't lie though. I mean, I'm not the Microsoft person at all, but that Surface Studio is lit. That shit looks insane.
Yeah, and I know I kept saying art because I'm just trying to simplify it, but there's so much that you can potentially do with these pieces. And really, the fact that Microsoft is making the aspect of virtual reality, VR, cheaper, and they're making it more accessible. The other big news is that they announced a VR headset that's only $299. The reason why that's huge is because have you ever seen the price for things like the Vive or even their own HoloLens, which is like very expensive, incredibly expensive. We're talking about like $800 expensive. So to be able to bring the price down to basically console prices and give you the free tools in their update to be able to create VR games or VR experiences, like they're really going hard. And I think that they're going to help propel the VR world even further.
I just see that they're really going hard. Even like, I mean, you were pushing it for
hard.
art. I mean, that's dope that they're going hard in that direction, because that's always been why I've stuck with Mac, is because I'm focused on art mainly. And, Mac has just been a trendsetter, but they're definitely slacking. I know you got some news from Matt, too, that, really didn't make me say, it was more of a whatever for me.
Yeah, it's whatever. Oh, and yeah, here I am to correct myself. The Surface Dial is $99.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're only dropping $3,000.
Because it's a peripheral. It's a peripheral. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Apple news. Apple's not bike because their AirPods are not ready. This I really don't like these things in the first place. They're basically the earbuds, but without the wires. They're new wireless Bluetooth centered earbuds that, because they decided to remove the headphone jack, they had to come up with something else for you to spend your money on. They said it's not ready. It was supposed to be out this month. They said don't plan on it. When it's going to come out, we don't know. But they said that there is software-hardware interaction issues. So they got to work on that. And that's actually, to me, that's not to say it doesn't happen, but I feel like that's different to hear. I guess a little strange that something that Apple like really pushed and promoted hard, it's just not ready.
Yeah, it's a weird time for Apple right now. They're definitely, you know, they are definitely feeling their losses over there. And I know they released or leaked their own image tomorrow. They're going to talk about the new MacBook Pros.
Mm-hmm.
And
which they actually ripped off of like Lenovo and the Yoga tablet. But
yeah, it doesn't look like much, you know, to me.
Yeah, but the thing that is like making people go, oh, that does look cool is for most laptops, like right above the numbers, like all the number keys, there's a row that's the function keys. Like for PCs, your F1, your F2, all that stuff. Well, in the new MacBook Pro, they've gotten rid of the physical keys and replaced it with what appears to be kind of a thin touchscreen display that can display text and graphics as well as a fingerprint sensor. So remember like back when they first introduced the fingerprint sensor for the phones, and then they put it in the tablets, and they was like, oh, Apple Pay. And then they said later, oh, you'll be able to use Apple Pay on the web. And people said, okay, that's cool, but I don't have a fingerprint sensor on my computer. Well, now you will, because it looks like it's coming to the new MacBook Pro.
Great.
So the only bad thing really just about that is I guess they leaked their own shit, but I don't know. It could be on purpose. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still sticking with Apple for the time being, but they're definitely lacking, and it hurts me to see it. But you know, it's just a company; it's whatever.
Right, and just finally, just wanted to touch on this because this is a big deal. AT&T over the past weekend has agreed to buy Time Warner for $85 billion. And to be clear, not Time Warner, the cable company. Time Warner, the company that owns HBO, and pretty much they're a media titan. So AT&T, which also owns DirecTV, which is a satellite operator, AT&T itself, which is telecom, plus media of Time Warner, that's insane.
Yeah.
That is going to reverberate for quite some time. And just, again, I already said that they own HBO, but they also own CNN. They own Warner Brothers. So all the rights that come to that, which include things like DC Comics and stuff like that, like they're shutting it down with this.
No, I mean, yeah, like you said, DC Comics, all their properties. I mean, all the Time Warner's properties. It's how in a couple of years there's be one corporation. You know, we're down to like 2 or 3 major ones that own pretty much everything. So, you know, get ready for Evil Core, folks.
Get ready. Evil Core's already here.
True indeed. All right. And as we move on, you know, there's some huge news that we got to talk about right here. I know, you know, speaking of bike, Incredibles 2 is finally set for, well, not for release. I mean, not for a minute, but it's actually confirmed and coming, I think, 2018?
Yeah, so, like, it was confirmed, a few
Yeah, they'd announced
back.
it a few months back.
But the big thing about this news is that they've moved it up. So what they did was they actually switched the release dates of Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 was supposed to come out first, but now what's going to happen is Incredibles 2 is going to debut June 15, 2018, and Toy Story 4 will move down to June 21st, 2019, which is fine by me because I am an Incredibles stan and I cannot wait to see them come back. Like, we've been waiting for this literally forever.
Yeah, and I mean, both of those are my joint, Toy Story and Incredibles. So, you know, either one, I'll take either one. But you know, I'm definitely.
I'd rather have Incredibles first. Like, I like Toy Story, but I really rather have Incredibles.
Yeah, we've had more than enough Toy Story. I felt like I mean, I hope they do right by it, but I felt like the last Toy Story was such a perfect ending that I really don't see how they're gonna do more. But that was also my favorite one. So
you're still crying over that scene
every time. Every time when that bear grabs that man, oh my God, yeah, oh Lord, yeah. All right, man. When they're about to go into the flame and he grabs his hand,
I know
they're going down together. Oh,
thug tears. It's okay, BenHaMeen.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Something that's not okay that I'm really kind of sad about, because I was actually rewatching it the other day and it really holds up after a year and on cable. And Deadpool 2 will not be directed by Tim Miller. He is bounced. leaving Ryan Reynolds without a director. And they said that they had creative differences, and it seems like when I read the story that it went pretty deep, that Ryan wanted to make a film more like, the original Deadpool on a lower budget with, a lot of jokes and some action. And Tim wanted, a huge budget. He wanted to do more of a summer. I don't think he wanted to do like the typical summer movie, but
he didn't want to do Independence Day.
No, and he didn't want to do, even Captain America Civil War. He wanted to do Deadpool, but more action and, definitely a much bigger budget. And
so Ryan Reynolds wanted it more understated. Okay.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds wanted more what made the first one a success. And I'm kind of mixed feelings about this, because it would have been interesting to see them go a completely different route with Deadpool 2, which like how Captain America went different routes with each of its sequels. But, it's also, the first one was a great movie, and a lot of that was due to the humor and to them finding creative ways around not having a big budget. And even referencing not having a big budget in the film, which is, part of Deadpool itself. So... Right. And it was like the screenwriters and Ryan weren't, feeling this way. So the studio, of course, they're going to go with, oh, you want to spend less money? Okay, you're out of here, Tim Miller.
Yeah. So, well, the original Deadpool movie, the first, let me not say original because people might get the wrong idea. The first Deadpool movie that was actually good is, it didn't really have a plot per se. It was really mostly just straight up jokes. But it was a fun movie. And it just, like you said, it seems like Ryan just wanted to do more of that, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. But I guess Miller just wasn't about that.
No, not about that at all. I mean, so basically, I think this really worked out for everyone, because it hasn't really started shooting or anything like that. So Miller, he's hot right now. He can surely find another movie to direct. And Ryan is hot, and Deadpool's hot, so I'm sure they'll find someone. A lot of people, there was actually a petition, which is terrible, to get Quentin Tarantino to do it. Hell to the fuck no. I wouldn't mind seeing him do a superhero film, but this ain't it.
Quentin?
Yeah, no. Whatever. But the one that I do think would be awesome is Edgar Wright, if they could manage to get him back to a superhero film after his problems with Ant-Man. But, I mean, he would do an amazing job, but, I don't know if he'd be down to go down that road again. And I think that's about it for that. And it's time for... Comics I Copped. Since we're talking about Deadpool and comics, and like I said already, you definitely should go out and check out Mockingbird, buy the trade, buy the latest issue. The cover is dope in itself, and I just want people to support this book because, like I say, it's really dope. Once I get my hands on the trade, I can tell you more about it, but the one issue was so dope, and just the utter, insanity of the reaction to this comic. And the fact that it's getting canceled is a damn shame. So, check it out. Other things that came out this week that I'm definitely copping and hurts my feelings is Chew number 59. There's now only one issue left of Chew. And like somebody accused me today on Twitter of talking about how Chew is like the greatest comic of all time. I've been reading comics forever, and it's not. But it is one of my favorite reads. And in terms of those 60-issue series... It's I haven't seen how they stick the ending yet, but throughout it's been a very entertaining read, and it's something that you can go back and read again and again, and you'll pick up little things, and the whole story has been developed from issue 1, and it's being wrapped up nicely as far as I can tell by issue 60. So definitely check it out. It hurts me that it's ending. A new issue of Saga dropped, also one of the best series of all time. You can always check that out. And the latest issue of Birthright, this is issue 19, and I'm waiting for issue 20 because I want to get the Nets trade of that. I talked about Birthright last week, but it's definitely turned into one of my favorite series. I've been reading and rereading the trades now, and I really love it. And I don't have his name handy, but I wanted, or his or her name, but I wanted to shout out the colorist on that because I feel like colorists often don't get enough love. And the colorist on Birthright, it's just some of the most beautiful colors. Oh, my God. When y'all get a chance to see it, y'all hit me and tell me because, it's so, like, the colors are so vibrant and they just capture so much emotion and so many other things. It's so well done in that series. So definitely check it out.
Colorist lives matter.
Yes, colorless. Yes, colorless lives matter. Everyone involved in comics, not just the authors.
Oh, are you all comics me?
Yes, I'm
just all comics me.
all comics me. You got to give shout outs to the letterers, everyone, man, because it takes
All comics matter.
all comics matter, except for big shouts to LOYC. He wanted me to give a mention to Damian Wayne. I love that kid's name. He's actually Batman's son. He's also the newest Robin in DC Comics, is reforming the Teen Titans, and I really don't care. I've heard that a lot of DC Comics, Mello and Illa, recommend their whole latest Rebirth. I'm not sure what they're calling it right now. I think it's Rebirth. But they've said that most of these are dope, like Deathstroke by Christopher Priest is supposed to be one of the best comics. I've been reading Batman by Tom King, the author behind Vision and Omega Men, and that's, sick, because dude is sick. But, overall, I've heard that most of this DC Rebirth has been really dope. I've also been reading, I finished the first trade of DC Bombshells by Marguerite Bennett. That's definitely dope and worth checking out. So, yeah, it's a lot of good things, out there to check out. But like I say, this week in comics, definitely check out Birthright, Chew, and Saga. 3 of my favorites. Just those things are just always great, And all of them it's funny, none of them feature superheroes.
Which is sometimes good. Like,
it's great.
Something different.
Yeah. Like Postal, another book I've been talking about a lot lately, which features no powers, no nothing. It's just a crime drama set in a random ass town. And
Shouts to Brian Edward Hill and Isaac Goodhart.
Yep, most definitely. So check those out.
Before we leave the comics section, comics like cop section, one of the things I want to say, BenHaMeen, is thank you very much because of you, someone who has really never been into comics, like fiends for comics now. Like we had just went to Midtown Comics and I bought a bunch of titles. Like obviously you've talked about Vision for a minute now. I finally copped Vision.
Yes.
I copped Paper Girls.
Yes.
I got Why the Last Man. During Comic-Con, I picked up Black because it had just dropped. Then I also picked up the next issue, the newest trade of Wicked and Divine. Then because I'm a One Punch fan, I picked up the One Punch Man #1 manga. And then I have the Guan anthology from Jerome Walford. If you don't know who he is, definitely look him up. He was actually on the show a couple of months back. And the Guan anthology, which is just a collection of stories from people of color all over the world, like it's like really just looking at this, and like you said, the colorist, the artist, the pencilist, like everything that goes into comics, it's really incredible. It's just stunning the way it reaches you on many different levels. And because of you, I really have welcomed comics into my life and into my heart. I sound like I'm selling a Bible, but I have you
met our Lord and Savior comic books?
Right. No, but really, I really feel it. And this didn't happen overnight, but just over time, just understanding this medium and just being able to be immersed in it. It's really just a stunning experience. So thank you, BenHaMeen, for your Comics I Cop section and for always pushing people to go out and buy and support independent comics.
Word, and thank you. And that's dope to hear. And I always love it when fans tell me that, but that's really dope to hear from, Tatiana yourself. And, everything you just mentioned there, Wicked and Divine is, absolutely one of my favorite books. And that's another one where the colorists, because I always talk about Jamie McKelvey and Kieran Gillen, who are the author and the artist, but the colorist, damn it, and her name is slipping my mind right now. I think that is a woman on that book, and that is incredible work by her on that one. You also mentioned that I got to get that anthology from you on that note, but like you said, Vision is just It's something about comics that I just feel cannot be done in any other medium. And even though sometimes I feel like I don't read enough books, even though I do read a lot of books, it's just something about comics that even a great novel just, or a great nonfiction book, it's just tough to duplicate. Mm-hmm. So, check them out. Like you said, always buy independent. Everything I mentioned today, Birthright, Chew, and Saga are all independent. And Mockingbird is definitely a mainstream Marvel book, but it's one of those books like Vision that you just can't believe Marvel's putting out. And really, that's why I say support things with your money, because then they'll put out more dope stuff like that.
Word.
All right. Real quick, in some TV news, big shout outs to my man Corey Hawkins, Dr. Drizzy himself from Straight Outta Compton, who will be starring in the new iteration of 24, which is called...
Oh, he's going to be the new Kiefer Sutherland?
He's going to be the new Kiefer Sutherland. They mentioned his name. I watched the trailer. The trailer looked hot. It's called 24 Legacy. It debuts after the Super Bowl, so it's to get them ratings. And 24 was a smash hit. And he gonna wear that wig he wore on The Walking Dead? No, thank God, no. In the trailer, he had short hair. I was thinking about that watching it. Oh my God, Heath. His name is Heath. Because in the comic book, Heath doesn't look near as crazy as he does in that damn fucking wig of his. But no, the trailer looks really.
He looked
dope.
like Tyler Perry. Let's be frank.
Oh my God,
he looked like Tyler Perry.
Yeah, I was rocking Overwatch the other night, and I'm not sure if this was a white dude, because there's a couple friends of mine. They're all fans of the show, but they actually put me on and we started rocking together because they heard me say I'm rocking DJ BenHaMeen on Xbox if anybody want to get murdered. But one of the dudes, he came on, he was like, I just got back from Halloween or whatever. Yeah. And I was just like, wow, like there's really, he was like, his girl wanted to see it, but like, wow. No. People really go out and watch Madea movies. Like, wow. Amazing.
I mean, that's what you like to do. That everything's not for everyone, that's all I'll say.
Most definitely, yeah. Everything's not for everyone. That is not for me. But I'm definitely more hype about this than I am about Madea any day, is that the Muppet Babies, which is ridiculous, returns to Disney Junior in 2018. Actually, I'm not hype about that at all.
I'm surprised you even mentioned it.
I loved the Muppet Babies as a kid, but I hate CG animation, and they're doing CG animation, so whatever. But, coming back.
The other TV news that startled me is that Brian Fuller, who was the showrunner for the new Star Trek Discovery TV show, is no longer the showrunner. He dropped that because apparently he said he's too busy with his other projects to give it the new Star Trek show his full attention.
Making money.
But they said he's not leaving 100%. Like, he's actually changing over to be an executive producer. So he will still help shape the story, and the story is supposed to follow the original vision he had for the show. So the scripts that he had already wrote, apparently they're still going to be followed pretty much the same. It's just that he's not going to be doing the show running. So the new showrunners are, they just switched. It looks like they just switched jobs. But the executive producers, Gretchen Berg and Aaron Harbert, they are going to be the new showrunners. Like I said, I mean, I liked where Brian Fuller was going with it. So if he's still involved to that capacity, I don't feel like anything too major change. I'm still mad the way that they're positioning the show, like giving you the pilot on CBS and then putting it all on their paid streaming platform. But
I think that's gonna fall apart. I cannot.
I really hope it falls apart, because I think that's stupid to put a wall up like that, a paywall, like really for a brand new Star Trek show that. And I know that's all they see is money signs, but like, come on, CBS, Paramount, y'all killing me. Killing me with the money grab, because y'all do this shit all the time. And it's fucking stupid.
You're killing me too, because I'm actually interested in watching this. And
see, that's what I'm saying. I'm not paying $4.99 or whatever around that price to get CBS All Access.
Star Wars Rebels is still free. I mean, if you pay for cable, it's still there.
See, and this is what I'm talking about. People like BenHaMeen will use this as a weapon and start praising the gospel of Star Wars.
But see, it's not even as a weapon. It's like when we were at the con this year and we were talking about that at the Star Trek con. It's just it's just bad mistakes by the Trek people, by Paramount. Like, it's wild disrespectful, because even as a non-fan, I'm like, I want to, because I'm someone who's more interested in Trek these days, and I want to catch up and watch more of it. But I ain't paying $4.99. I barely can have time to watch Star Wars Rebels. Like, you think I got time to pay for Trek and watch it? You, child, please.
No.
Yeah.
No. Before we get out of here, I wanted to definitely do a shout out to the group Louis York. I actually just heard their new project. Their musical duo. Their first project is already out. Their second project is actually dropping November 18th. I did get a sneak peek at the second project. What am I talking about? I heard the whole thing. It was really good. They have 2 singles out called Limelight and Don't Play. One of the members, Claude Kelly, he actually wrote Grenade for Bruno Mars. He's written for people like Britney Spears and Whitney and all sorts of people. And then the other person, Chuck Harmony, he's produced songs for Rihanna, Mary J. Blige, Crispy Chicken, and Fantasia. So, like now they've formed to do this like super group called Louis York. And like the music's pretty cool. Like it's really good. I'm really interested in where their project is going, and I would definitely say everyone just take a listen to their music and maybe hit up their album coming down November 18th.
Wow, we're doing music shout outs on Fanbros now?
Listen, I like music, and when I hear stuff I like, I'm going to share it.
I mean, I'm DJ BenHaMeen, and I don't even be doing music shout outs. That Dram album, I listened to most of that Dram album.
Was it good?
Hell yeah, yo. I like Dram a lot. I like his attitude. And that album is dope. He got the joint with Erykah Badu on there that is hot fire.
Oh, that's what's up.
And this other one we used to called "I'ma Change My Number." Like we talk about I'm blowing up, so I'ma change my number on you. That shit is dope too.
Oh God, I do like him. I like him. He's a cool.
Still my favorite album of the year is Chance the Rapper though. Word up. But yeah.
Chance 3. I love Chance.
Yeah, I had a good ass outro for this episode, but I can't remember it.
If one more label try to stop me, there gonna be some dreadhead ninjas in the lobby.
Fan Bros.